morning. Good morning, you amazing Instagrammers, you. Good morning, you Facebookers, you. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. I am super excited to be here. We're gonna have some fun. Who's gonna have some fun? Let's have some fun. I got to remember to do the basics. Good morning, Instagrammers. Great to see you. Instagrammers, it'd be amazing one day if we had the same amount of people watching on Instagram as we do on Facebook. But I think we're going to have our work cut out there somewhat because we seem to be having a couple of thousand people that watch our broadcasts every day. So you guys are just a small little group, but you're still great. But you guys are great too. And I'm not trying to say anyone's better than anybody else, but you should definitely follow me on Instagram because I'm doing some quite fun stuff on there. Right, let's share this in a group and then we'll be ready to rock this party. Please share this. Let's get the word out there. I firmly believe that the information that we share here every day is some of the most powerful information that we can give to the world. The information that I have, deciphered, collected, and put together in a way that people like you can create an unbelievable life. When I look at you, all I see is potential. That's my strength in people. I often don't even see their weaknesses. I just see the infinite potential that exists within you. Thank you very much for sharing this. We really appreciate it. You never know that simply by the small action of you sharing something and someone look at it, they'll go, I'm going to listen to that and listen to it and feel where I am coming from. Feel where I am coming from. I'm excited for this week. It's going to be a game-changing week as we start to look at the emotional life of your brain. We start to helping you get mentally stronger. How many of you would like to be mentally stronger? How many of you would really like to understand more about the emotions that drive you and help you to create a different emotional signature, a signature of your brain, so you decide how you think and feel more of the time? How many of you get, Pete, you know what? I'd love that. Now, the thing is, you can't just buy that. Like, can I have it, please? Yes, there you go. You bought it and have it. It definitely takes a bit of an investment of your time and your energy to create the best you yet. Who is like, yeah, I want a piece of that. I want me to be the best me I can possibly be. How many of you already are that person? How many of you could look at yourself in the mirror today and say, look who I have become. Look at this is what we are all about. My365, we are in the story-making business, helping people like you create an amazing life, maybe where you're slimmer, fitter, healthier, maybe where you're happier, maybe where you find the job that you've been looking for and you feel a sense of fulfillment and gratitude every single day, where it's you facing problems in your life and you feel like you can deal with it, whether it's you finding a group of supportive people from all around the world that want you to be the very, very best that you can be. Now, we have 4 more days for you to become an elite member. Why should you become an elite member of My365? Perhaps some of you could just explain why. Those of you that are, My365 Elite is your opportunity to have access to some of the greatest masterclasses I have ever put together. It's an unbelievable opportunity. You've got until this Thursday, then we close the doors. And you'll see in a link to this post today, there's a podcast where I interview some of our elite members. Listen and see what they achieved. There is no difference between you and what these people have achieved. And that's some of the stuff I'm going to be revealing to you this week. It's going to be a massive game-changing week. Let's get stuck in. Me give you some content to help you this week develop some emotional intelligence for you to create a different emotional signature. Everyone has a signature, right? It's the most unique thing that you have is your signature. Give me your signature. No one has your signature. It's as unique as your fingerprint, your print on the world. But what a lot of us don't realize is the way we are is not the way that we have to be. The way that we are is in our encoding, the way we have encoded this life, the way we have processed what has happened to us. Some of this maybe is genetic. Maybe some of us have picked up some genes, psychological genes from our parents. This whole field now is still being massively looked into. But I think we are who we are through most cases through choice. So we're going to spend a whole week looking at mental strength. We're going to thank you for all of your comments here. I love it. Thank you so much. I love every single one of you showing up here because you want to be the very best that you can be. And you know why so many people struggle with their emotions? Do you know why so many people struggle to be as strong as they could be? It's in so many cases, it's because they're not striving towards something. They're not inspired to achieve something tomorrow or the next day. For most people, they're just trying to get through each day. What we're here to do is to keep you on track, to help you believe in yourself and give you tips, tools, and techniques to help you do something absolutely incredible. So this is what we're looking at this week. We're looking at what underpins the emotional life of your brain. Now, that's a pretty big thing to say at, 7:05 on a Monday morning. Written it down here. What underpins the emotional life of your brain? Now, what so many people do is they play a role. Now, when we spend a whole week looking on a subject, and we are going to spend a whole week looking at this, most of you know who have been following me for a while, the first day of 5 days, we become more aware. It's like going to collect. Remember when you were at school and they said, right, go into the field and go and collect some stuff to show that it's autumn. So you'd maybe come back with an acorn, you'd come back with a leaf. This is kind of like what I'm asking you to do, not that it's autumn. I'm asking you to go and collect some information around the emotions that dominate your life, okay? Or the emotions that have dominated your life. So can anyone give me some examples of some emotions that have been really prevalent in their life? So for some people, joy, fear, worry, doubt, happiness, sadness, depression, guilt, anxiety, fear. What are some of the emotions, the traits, the moods? This is such important information. Grief, anxiety, fear, worry, love. If you think about it, the dominating ones, right? Now, for most people, you probably won't be surprised, it is fear. And fear gets manifested in anger, worry, doubt, because the world is basically telling most of us, whether you realize this or not, so what's the world telling you? The message the world is telling you is you're not good enough and you need to buy something in order for you to feel good, right? That's what most of us are told. You need to buy this book, you need to buy this clothes, you need to buy this computer, you need to buy this phone, you need to buy these shoes. You need something to buy into for you to feel good. But for most people, it's only temporary, right? But if you think back as a child, when you were very small, what were the dominating emotions in your life? In many cases, it was just you were happy, you were joyful. If you weren't, you'd scream your head off. You wanted to explore. You wanted to be curious. Think about this. Curiosity, write that word down. I dare all of you to become more curious in your life. What does curious mean? Curiosity is that you wanting to learn. You become curious as to why is that the way that I am? Why do I have that emotion? Now you could look upon it through childhood experiences or bad things that have happened, and bad things have happened to all of us. And this is where things start to get really interesting, and this is the information I'm going to be giving you this week, that you could have two people that go through the same experience, and I remember hearing a story of someone who, two twins, and they both had an alcoholic father, and the alcoholic father used to beat them, and one child ended up becoming an alcoholic, and the other child did the opposite. And they were both interviewed, and their answers were something like, well, with a father like that I had, how would you have expected me to have turned out? And they both kind of gave the same answer, that one of them became an alcoholic and one of them thought that's the last thing I'm doing. Yet they both experienced the same thing. So you might want to write this down. We've got states, we've got moods, and we've got traits. And I've mentioned this before on previous broadcasts. We've got states, we've got moods, and we've got traits. But what we're going to look at tomorrow is to start looking at styles, emotional styles. So states are things that you kind of go in and out of. So you might feel a state of joy, satisfaction, anger, but that state is fleeting. It can last minutes and then it's gone. Does that make sense? You can listen to some music, you're in a great state, you can have a cry, and then you stop crying and you get over it. That's a state, yes? Then you have a mood. Now, this is something I learned from my wife, that my wife is brilliant. She'll get in a mood, but then it's gone. It's like, let's move on. Whereas for me being stubborn, I would let the mood just carry on. I'd let that mood carry on for sometimes half a day, carry on a resentment, rather than just letting it go. Right? Does that make sense to you? You have states, you have moods, and then you have traits. Traits are things that, emotions that you see. You have that ability to have that trait a lot of the time. Fear, worry, doubt, anxiety. Remember, do not look at this as right or wrong. It's if you want to, that's fine, but it's not going to hurt you. By the way, the world, before we started to buy things that we didn't need, before that, especially in this country, many of us played victims. The victim, the servant, to serve the king and queen, to work for them, to give them the taxes so we could just survive. So it's no surprise that most of us struggle to survive. Not to survive, sorry, struggle to thrive in this world. And that is what My365 is all about. So I'm asking you, go away today with a big smile on your face like a journalist or like a scientist. I have been given the role to go and find out what is the states, the moods, and the traits that are most apparent in my life. Yes, be excited by this, because what we're going to look at tomorrow is the style. What style do you like? What clothing do you like to wear? I like to wear clothing like this, you know. I like to wear, often I have to wear shirts and ties with the work that I do, but this is my style. What is the style that you're looking for? Because once you can identify the style, this is going to be amazing this week, because we're going to start looking at what are the specific things that you need to do to change the style, because the style is going to require what we call 6 dimensions. I was just written this all out this morning. We'll look at this morning. Tomorrow, if you're not excited, I don't know what could make you more excited. If you haven't shared this, please share it. Let's get this information out into the world. And if you want to find out more about My365 Elite, you have until Thursday to do that. Then we're going to close the door and you won't hear me talk about it again for a few months. You know why I talk about it a lot? Because I know the difference that it makes to people's lives. This is great what we do here, but if you want to go that little bit deeper to really just be a part of a great community of people, get great content and have closer contact to me, check out Elite, listen to that podcast. Thank you so much. Who is fired up right now? Who is ready? Who is like, this is interesting stuff. Yeah. What is this? Let me recap it on Instagram. Goodbye, Instagrammers. Right. Let me give you a quick recap before we finish for the day. Are you ready? So this is day 1 on the emotional life of your brain, helping you become mentally stronger. I don't know about you, but I am definitely fired up. We're on Facebook Live here right now. So what are we looking at? We're looking at helping you go from victim to hero, becoming a hero in your life. And today is the first day of 5 days. So what I'm asking all of you to do is to start looking at what are your emotional states that you go in and out of. States are things which people experience for a few seconds and then the state moves on. Then we've got moods. What are moods that you experience a lot? Frustration, doubt, worry, happiness, anxiety. That can last sometimes for half a day, a couple of days. And then you've got traits. What are the traits, the most familiar emotions that you experience most in your life? What we're going to be looking at this week is helping you create a style, the emotional style that you want to manifest. It's going to be a great week. We'll see you tomorrow. Make sure you have a great day. Stay connected to what we're doing. Please have a listen to that podcast. The link is here in the post. Thank you so much. Lots of love to you all. We'll see you tomorrow as we start looking at style. Who's excited? Create a style that you're proud of. All the best. See you tomorrow.